Welcome back to the Sports Sources segment of our program brought to you by Madisonville Marine. As the weather gets warm, there's no better way to spend your free time than on the water. Whether it's a pontoon boat for entertaining, a deck boat for skiing, a bass boat for fishing, or something in between, they've got them all. It's the biggest selection you'll ever find, more makes and models than anywhere else in East Tennessee. Start the process at Madisonville Marine. There is no better place to buy a boat. All right. Rick Barnes is now being paid huge dollars by Tennessee, one of the top 3 or 4 salaries in the country for now. You're going to have some guys that say, wait a second, I got a better track record than him. I want a boost. But still, he's making great money. Some people are saying he's not worth it. Is he? Let's go ahead and put up some numbers here. Here are your salaries from 2018-19. All right, this is from last year. And I've put in Rick Barnes there. It's $4 million plus. We all think he's 4.5 to 4.7. All right, the question, does he have the resume of Tom Izzo or Roy Williams, who now he makes more money than? No. If this were an expansion draft or an auction where all the schools in the country all were starting from scratch, he wouldn't be the 3rd highest paid coach in the country. He'd probably be top 12, top 15 somewhere. But that's not what this is. Different coaches have different values to different schools at different times. And right now, he's been well worth it for Tennessee. Example, let me show you this. Here's what one national writer, Evan Daniels of 247.com, listed as the great options for Tennessee if Barnes left. Oh, yeah, people would have been cheering. Now, Casey Alexander's now at Belmont. He just left Lipscomb. John Brannon, Matt McMahon, Wes Miller. I would have gone Steve Forbes at East Tennessee State personally, but still, is Barnes worth it to give him 4.5, 4.7? Or would you rather save money and hire one of these guys and start from scratch without Jordan Bone, probably without Grant Williams, lose your recruits? Yes, he's worth it. Of course he's worth it. Let me show you the next one here. In another way, under Buzz Peterson, UT had black curtains up around that arena. We all remember that. Under Bruce Pearl, attendance boomed. Then it dropped off. You see attendance drop as the wins and losses changed. I'll pause here for Vol Twitter to tell me that, no, we're there, win or shine, win or lose. Okay, now we can get back into it. But Barnes started winning, and it took the attendance right back up. So let's do a comparison. You see the number 2016, 2017. Flip to the next graphic here for me. All right, so look, 2016, 2017. You played 16 home games. Average attendance was 13,636. This past year, 18 home games, average attendance 19,000. That's 53, about 5,400 more people per game. So let's just talk pure butts in seats. That's 5,400 more. Let's take the difference there and say 17 more home games. That's 91,000 more butts in seats. Let's say they each spend $50 on a ticket, a program, hot dog, and a Coke. That equals out to $4.5 million. In other words, he pays for himself just with the extra rumps in seats that he puts over there. Guys, yes, he's worth it in my view. I think when you throw in the fact that you don't have to worry about the NCAA coming to town, it takes a load off Phillip Fulmer. You guys may disagree with this, and that's fine. You may say he's not worth the money, and if you feel that way, please fire that out here. But in my line of thinking, I think it pays for itself.
Well, not only that, I think that if he left, you were looking at a major rebuilding job. Because I think if he left, I think it's pretty certain Jordan Bone and Grant Williams are gone. Josiah James may not come back. Your roster's not very inviting. You're not thinking about NCAA tournament. You're hoping to get an NIT. And then the attendance would plummet if that occurred. And he does so much in the community as well.
It would plummet at the summit.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have a big-time job, a job that coaches aspire to, you don't have to overpay for people. Tennessee football is one of those jobs. People want to come and coach Tennessee football. Tennessee basketball does not have the same tradition. You have to, quote-unquote, overpay sometimes for coaches relative to the market, even if you can suss out that maybe they're not overpaid. But you got to pay guys to keep them there, and that's what they did.
Another example off that list earlier, I didn't get to point it out when it was up there, but Chris Mack, Louisville, making more than $4 million. Is he worth it? Should he be one of the 6 or 7 highest paid coaches in the country? Based on track record, I would say no. Based on what he might do at Louisville, where Louisville was in terms of being desperate at the time, absolutely he was worth it. Stability. So anyway, Josh, Bob, you just get to stare at me and nod. Did you agree? Do you agree he's worth the money or no?
Yes.
Yeah, and I would say yes because of something you mentioned last segment. For Phillip Fulmer, he doesn't have to worry about managing the basketball program. Rick Barnes is paying for that part itself too.
Huge. All right. Kelly Harper was hired to coach the Lady Vols. Was that the best hire? Was that the right hire? Was that simply the most expedient hire? Come on back.